Where you're going to learn how to edit your clock in or clock out time, as well as how to edit your check in or check out time. So important to know those are two different things. Clocking in and clocking out has to do with when you're on the clock and getting paid. Checking in and checking out has to do with when you're at a store location for service. Two different things, two different places to edit. But the first thing you need to know is that to get to any of that, you've got to go to My Workday right there. We're going to go ahead and press that button, and it takes us to this screen. And within this screen, two important places for you to be focused right now is right in the middle of the screen. Right here where you see this little pencil, that is where you're going to adjust your clock in and clock out. Over here to the right, that's where you're going to adjust your check-in or check-out when needed. And in a second here, you're going to see why that's important. You'll notice if I click over here to the right where it says 2.5 right there, I'll go ahead and click that. It takes me to my check-ins. And if you see here, note that I'm checked out at 1:09 p.m. That's going to be an important number for you to remember in order to kind of follow along here with what we're talking about. So I'm checked out at 1:09. I checked out of that store location at 1:09. So let's go back. Okay, and now I'm going to go into adjust my time. Go ahead and press that. Notice that I'm clocked out at 1:10 p.m. So I went out to the parking lot, I checked out at 1:09, I clocked out at 1:10, and I'm on my way. But in this case, I want to say, you know what? I actually didn't clock out at 1:10. I took a phone call for work, a real quick one. I clocked out at 1:11 p.m. Just change it and click set time at the bottom. Click save. And you'll notice that there is a little thing here that shows pending approval. So that'll show up in the manager portal. You'll notice the time has changed over here to 1:11 p.m. No problem. Well, let's say that instead of 1:11, so I'm going to go back into here and adjust time. And let's just say, whoops, there we go. Let's just say I pressed 1:09. What do you think is going to happen when I press 1:09? I'm going to tell, actually I'll say 1:08. I'm going to tell the clock, you know what, I clocked out at 1:08, keeping in mind that I checked out at 1:09. When I click set time and save, it's going to give me this error. I can't be clocked out at 1:08 because I'm still checked in at 1:08. My checkout time was 1:09. I can't be clocked out while I'm checked into a store, so it doesn't let me. So I'm going to click OK here. And I'm going to go back. Let's say I do want to clock out at 1:08. You know what? No, I actually finished work at 1:08 today. I've got to move the checkout time to happen before 1:08 in order for any of this to work. I can't adjust the clock out time to 1:08 and say I'm done working off the clock at 1:08 if my checkout is in the way, which is at 1:09. So go back and we're going to adjust the checkout time now. Press that button. See right here where it says edit time. I'm going to press that. Takes me here. You can see at the bottom where my 1:09 checkout is. I'm going to press that. I'm going to change that now to 1:07 because remember I want to clock out at 1:08. But with this 1:09 checkout, I just can't do that. It won't let me make that adjustment. So I'm going to take this back to 1:07 and say, you know what, Movista? I am checked out now at 1:07. You can see it saved successfully. Once it takes a second there, it'll take me back to the next screen. Press the little arrow back. Now I can go back into my time edit over here and press the 1:11 and do my 1:08. And remember, now that my checkout is at 1:07, I should have no problem clicking set time and save. And now you can see it has accepted my 1:08 clock out because I went over here and adjusted my checkout time to allow that. So hopefully that helps clear some things up for you. There's an additional roadblock you can run into. Let's say I go over here to this side to adjust my checkout time first, keeping in mind that I am clocked out at 1:08 p.m. Let's go ahead and click that to the checkout time and go back to the edit time. Whoops. There we go, edit time. Okay, 1:07, so I'm down here. I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what? Whoops, there we go. I actually checked out at 106. If I said I checked out at 106, I should be fine because my clock out is at 108. But let's say I try to move this back to 109. So you know what? I checked out at 109. Is it going to let me do that? It's not going to let me do that, right? Because I clocked out at 108. I adjusted my clock out time to 108. I can't move my checkout time now to 109. See what happens when I click set time and save? Now I get this little error message right here at the bottom, which reminds me my checkout time cannot be after the clock out time. So that might get a little confusing, but I can go into here now and I can adjust this as long as it's as long as this is before my clock out time, which was at 108, I can adjust it to anything. 105, no problem. Set time, save. Good to go. You can see up top, I'm all set. So your checkout time has to coincide or agree with your clock out time. You can't be off the clock while you're checked into a store. So you got to move the check-in and check-out times accordingly. And the important thing to remember is that all your check-in and check-out stuff lives here, and all of your clock-in and clock-out stuff lives over here. Good luck.